Welcome everyone to Sketch Card Hive, and today we're talking rainbows. So you might not be familiar with them, so I'm just going to give you a little overview of what a rainbow is. Currently in modern non-sport and sport cards, if you're not familiar, if you're 90s old school and you found this channel, welcome. Modern stuff happens in variations of color. So when you have one iteration of a card, which I'll show you something that's not Silver Surfer really, but more Star Wars. No idea. So here's a base card. So you have a base card, and that base card is common, right? It's a common card. You can get them, and you open up any pack, you have a chance of getting it. This, for instance, is card number 13. All right, and this is a base card, and it's called Crushing the Hunters. Now, when you're going for a rainbow, basically there are variations of this card in various colors, and they change in their rarity. So for instance, I'll go through these quickly. So you have the white one, and then you have a blue one, which is pretty common still. It's just a parallel. It's called a parallel, right? There's the blue one. And then you have something called a slightly more rare parallel, especially for this set, which is Mandalorian Season 1 cards. You have a purple, which is harder to get, less frequent in packs. And then you get into your numbered cards. Now this one is numbered to 50, and so it has a bronze kind of border and a hard number there for this particular set. Some rainbows are not numbered, but most are, so you don't have to worry about that too much. And then you go into a silver, which is out of 10. And then you go to a yellow. No, silver is out of 25. Gold is out of 10. And then you have that. So you have that right now, right? So you have your rainbow. Right, that's your rainbow. So now different levels of rainbowing. Okay, so I'm just going to explain those to you as we go along. So currently, if you can get all the way to 10, right, that means you have a rainbow. See, the colors of the rainbow. I know, nothing too crazy. But there you go. Now, this is where it gets really fun. Now, think about it this way. Only 10 people, because this card, the lowest numbered of cards right here, only 10 people can have 10 of these rainbows. 10 people can own this set of cards. So this is where it gets tricky. 10 people can have this total rainbow, right? Now, there's another degree to this where there's a 1 of 1, and it's black. And it's a 1 of 1, hard number, black. So now, all of a sudden, only one person can hold this, and then you have this rainbow. Now this is where it gets complicated, because not only is there this card for this particular set, which I know is a lot, but you also have something called a Beskar. Now here, this card is metal, right? It's thicker than a printing plate, very nice, but it looks exactly like the base card, but it's rounded corners and it's metal, but exactly the base card. Nice little printing effect on there because it is metal, so it's a little more clear. And this one, the Beskar, which is what they name this particular insert, is hard numbered, 1 of 1. Hard number stuff is usually considered more rare, just depends, but this has a 1 of 1 written on it. So only one person can own this master rainbow of this particular card, which is the example I have for you. So these are all the variations collected from one collector who has the full set of Crushing the Hunters, card number 13, 1 of 1. Now you're asking yourself, is this worth the hunt? Is this cool to you? If it's not, and this seems greedy, gluttonous, all that kind of fun stuff, then don't do it. Most people, what they do is, for this set in particular, they waited for a card they really liked, like a position of Mando or Baby Yoda, Grogu, or whatever, and they said, I'm going to rainbow that card. Then they go on to the next steps of acquiring that rainbow and hunting the card down. It's really fun, and it's a nice alternative to opening packs and hoping you get something good. Here's more of the secondary market hunt, and you're looking for a very specific thing, and it becomes less gambling and more about doing the legwork and hunting something, if you're into that. Personally, I don't open packs because I do think it's gambling inducive and does cause for a little bit of an addiction to form. Not that this doesn't, it does. But for me, I can handle this more than buying multiple cases of cards. That's me personally, and you have to figure out your journey as well. Do not feel pressured to buy things ever. Whatever you decide to do, however you decide to collect, is up to you, and make it fun, because at the end of the day, you have to purchase the thing, and when you don't want it anymore, you got to be okay with having that money into that collectible. So now you know what a rainbow is using the Mando Season 1 example here that I have for you. This exists outside of Star Wars. This exists in Marvel cards. It exists in Star Trek, Star Wars. So like I showed you here, it exists, I think DC cards. I actually had this. MCU cards, the newest addition to Black Diamond MCU cards, has rainbow chasing elements in there, as well as other non-sport shows and movies and such. They all have some kind of, at least the more modern ones, they have some kind of chase factor introduced there for you to rainbow cards. I know sports does as well. I don't know that much about sports. Hopefully we can get someone on here about sports and I can have like a real big dialogue with them and ask questions. I don't know. We'll see. Might happen. So now you know what a rainbow is. Should feel pretty comfortable with that. Should be like, oh, that's pretty awesome. How do you chase one? Let's get into that next. Okay, so there's a physical way of chasing rainbows. What I tend to do is I look at Facebook groups like the MCC Pod for Marvel cards. There's a Star Wars trading group, which is just a phenomenal group for Star Wars stuff. And there's multiple things actually all on Facebook. If you're not a Facebook person, I get it. The whole hobby forced me into being on Facebook. Not a fan personally, because I don't like being that social. But then I made a YouTube channel. Contradiction after contradiction. So when you physically chase a rainbow, let's talk about the one I went on when I did a Mandalorian for the Masterworks Star Wars set. So let's go ahead and start with Star Wars Masterworks. So for Star Wars Masterworks, this is what I did. Okay, so the strategy for getting one of these rainbows is very simple. Lock down the one of one. That's the most important thing you can lock down. Don't worry about missing the 1 out of 10, 1 out of 50, or even a base, even if it's hard to come by. That does not matter. Once you lock down the one of the card, you're in. You're done. You will now be the only person who can complete that rainbow. Yes, people will hoard the 10s or the 5s, depending how low the number is before the 1 of 1, and block you from ever completing the rainbow. My advice to you, patience. Do not rush this. As long as you have the 1 of 1, you have the keys to the kingdom, my friend. Just give it some time. So this does bring up another point. There are various types, there's various degrees of rainbowing. So the first degree of rainbowing is everything up to the 10 or 5 marker, right? Once you start getting into cards that are limited out of 10 or 5, that's where it becomes a little difficult to nail down. The 10 ones are possible if you get in early. Know the release date of your set. Know the pushbacks. Know where it's going to be released. Is there also a digital release? There's going to have to be some research on your end to realize, okay, let me get in on the ground floor. Trying to do a rainbow after the set's been released, even by a couple of months, can get really difficult. So I can't stress enough doing this early, because this Mando thing that I've done for Star Wars Masterworks, that would not have happened if I hadn't been in there before release. No way I could have locked down all these cards when I did, because people just run when this stuff happens. So you have to be really aware. So various degrees. You have ones where you can stop at 10, stop at 5, bottom. You can do ahead and do a 1 of 1. Now you can do a 1 of 1 for Marvel Masterpieces 2016, 18, and 2020. You have red spectrums. Those are 1 of 1s, right? Or for Star Wars Masterworks, 1 of 1 is gold. For those 1 of 1s, I think you can substitute a printing plate in place of that 1 of 1, right? So there's 4 printing plates in a rainbow, or you can have 1 printing plate in a rainbow. The 4 colors are blue, yellow, red, and black. Okay, proper names are up here. So with these 4 colors, plus the card that is the variant that has 1 of 1 written on the card, right? Like gold or red spectrum, or the Beskar, like I showed you earlier. I think that can be substituted with a printing plate and still be considered a rainbow, right? Now, like I said before, going previously, I said, okay, if you collect cards that have variations all the way up to 10, that means only 10 people can have that set of cards, that rainbow. Once you get to the 1 of 1, only you can have that rainbow. So it just depends how deep you want to go into it. Some people go real crazy and do all 4 printing plates plus the one of one, or all 4 printing plates in place of finding the one of one. Why? Because it is impossible to find these. It is very difficult to lay your hands on anything that is one of one. So just having one of the printing plates, you might just have to call it early. The other variation is a master rainbow. In a master rainbow, you'll have all 4 printing plates, the one of one, all the cards, and sometimes even the artwork. Now, of course, there's no one way to collect, and all these are just 4 different ways to rainbow, especially in non-sports today. So in my experience, how to collect these physically is be ahead of the release date. So let's go through this Masterwork set. So what I did for my rainbow is I did the base, the blue parallel, the green, which is out of 99, the purple, which is out of 50, the gold, which is out of 10, or I think yellow, orange out of 10, this black is out of 5, and then a printing plate. Okay, that's my rainbow. Now to add to this rainbow, I got an autograph, the silver frame, all right, which is out of 5. So I got 1 autograph. Some people rainbow autographs, which is just so next level. And for Mandalorian Pedro Pascal, I did not have the money to do that, so I opted in for 1 autograph. The variation that I liked the most, which was the silver frame, because silver, chrome, Mando, we all make sense of these in our head, don't we? And then I also did a sketch. Now for the sketch, I was like, I want the sketch. I want the next level sketch that's really going to be the one that I consider to be one of the best sketches of Mando in the set, in my opinion. My opinion does not mean I am right. It just means I am right for my collection. And that's this one here. And that's the Carlos. And this is a booklet sketch. Now for these 2 cards, I went in extremely hard because these for me were the milestone cards. There was nothing going to top these for me. So I didn't mess around. All my budget, which you should always set a budget when you chase a rainbow, went to these 2 cards because I knew even if I couldn't get the rainbow, as long as I locked down these 2 cards, I was golden. That's what I did there. I also got myself a really nice base sketch, which is really great, by Robert. Just a beautiful piece. Really just a nice piece. So that's my Mandalorian, Star Wars, Masterworks rainbow. Okay? That's it. That's complete for me. I saw the other sketches, the other plates come up except for the black, and the gold hasn't emerged, the one of one. And I opted out on the other plates because I said to myself, I got that auto, I got that sketch. That's more than enough to complete the rainbow in my eyes. And I'm very happy with it. And that's when you call it, when you're collecting. When you're like, I wouldn't sell that if you gave me X, Y, Z. This is what I want to keep. You know you've collected correctly in your mind, and for your collection you've made good choices. And that's what it's about, especially when you're spending money on things, especially the type of money that these things are going to start costing people. There's no reason whatsoever to overextend yourself. Get what you like, and if you can't get what you like, let it go, move on, find something else you like. I promise you, more sets, more cards are always coming out year after year. They'll make you something that you'll feel even more excited about, and you'll probably be in a better financial situation then. Let's look at the digital rainbowing. Now, hold off before you click away. I'm not talking digital as in digital cards. That's not for me. I don't like having something that I can't physically hold. It makes sense for some people in some situations, but for me personally, I need the physical card. That's just me. Nothing wrong with collecting digitally. There's something called Upper Deck e-Pack. Now, this is a big deal. If you've been avoiding this, you're going to start realizing very quickly you need to start getting on board. And let me tell you why. There's something called e-Pack achievements. Now, for e-Pack achievements, you're looking at cards that can only be obtained through the e-Pack system. Now, these cards are not digital cards. You open them digitally, but what you're looking at is an actual physical card, and that physical card can be shipped to you. So let's talk about a rainbow that I went for after the character named Spot. I know, he looks like a Dalmatian. I get that. But I thought he was really cool from the animated Spider-Man show. Portal jumping, cool guy. I thought there was a lot of potential there. Plus, he's kooky and weird, and no one cares for him. Hence why I collected him. So for Fleer Ultra Spider-Man 2017, which is right on here's the box, the pack, pretty. I went for this card. I thought it was really beautifully drawn. I like the presence of the card. I like him going through the portal, stepping onto the ledge and the city behind him. I thought art's cool. I've always had a like for the character. This will be a fun rainbow, not too hard to chase, because I was getting very tired of chasing surfer stuff, because surfer stuff's a very difficult thing to chase. So I went for this. It ticked all the boxes. Tick, tick, tick. Always tick your boxes. Figure out what you need. Make sure you're getting what you want. So this is Spot. So I went for this rainbow. Now here's the tricky thing. You can get this in a physical box. This Spot. All right, this is the base card. All right, see the gold foiling? This is the silver parallel. I believe you can get this only on e-Pack. Oh wow, I'll have to put a message on my screen to remind myself because I don't remember. But I think so. It has a silver foil to it. Very nice. Very silver foil. The next one is the rainbow. So let's go ahead and go through this a little bit. On e-Pack, right, in order to achieve this card, which has a rainbow foiling to it, extremely rare. Our estimate is that there's only maybe 20, 30, even 50 of these cards, but I highly doubt it's even that many because it's very hard to obtain. How do you obtain this card? You can only do it through e-Pack. So what does it mean? You open up packs on e-Pack and you get this card. If you can get 100 of these, you can get the rainbow foil. So it takes 100 base on the e-Pack portal. It's not like you can open these physically and mail them to Upper Deck and get the card. You can only do this through the e-Pack space online. Get 100 of these, you can turn it into this rainbow foil. You can get 10 of these and turn this into the silver. 10 of these silvers make a rainbow. Are you starting to catch on? They got us all suckered in, guys. Ladies, there's no way to avoid this. This is the variation. This is what you're doing here. Okay? You get this, you get 10 of these, you get 1 of these. You get 10 of these, which makes 100 of these, and you get this guy, rainbow foil. This can only be achieved this way, or eBay. You understand? This might be too psychotic for you. Go to eBay, wait for it to drop, spend a couple $100 on it if you want. Do what you can. Figure out a way around the system. There's also a signature. Now these are hard numbered, and they are hard numbered. Are they hard numbered? Maybe they're not hard numbered. Yes, they are hard numbered. Okay. There you go, hard numbered. Right there, that guy. This guy is 24 out of 49. So 49 signatures. And then you have its parallel, which you can also do the same thing of rainbowing, much harder because this is not guaranteed to be one in a pack. This is guaranteed to be one in a pack, a webbing on the background. Random character. So you get 100 of these or 10 of these to turn into one of these, and then 10 of these to turn into a rainbow. This is less than 5, less than 10 of rarity. There's probably only like 3 or 4 of these out there. And now the product is sold out on e-Pack. And that's the other thing. It's not an infinite product pool, which is important to note. It's not something that will be up forever so people can always obtain these things. It's for a limited time. It depends how much packs people open, right? You get it. And then you can get these rare items. So it's a very difficult rainbow to get, okay? So I did this. You have those cards that give you that rainbow. Ooh, rainbow. And then I got 2 plates, luckily. Love to find the other 2, but who knows if I will. And then I got a sketch, which I'm absolutely in love with, which is PJ. PJ's the man. If you don't know about his artwork, go check it out. Phenomenal. And there's also a plexiglass, which is here. I know, very weird texture on there. Strange, but kind of weird. Why not? I like it. And that's the rainbow for there. That's how it was obtained to finish off that rainbow digitally. I think more rainbows in the future are going to have to be finished off digitally. I think there'll be e-Pack exclusives for more and more cards. So for you to complete your rainbow, it's not something you can do without having to interact with e-Pack or go on eBay and hunt some stuff around, which is what I do. I do the e-Pack stuff because I kind of enjoy it, but again, I don't partake in boxes too much or pack ripping because it does get a little addicting and try to walk away from that stuff. I tend to stay close to eBay hunting, or I contact people and hit them up on groups and contact them through Instagram, put out feelers to ask people for help, a finder's fee type of thing. It tends to work out. People are very nice. Unless they're collecting them for their personal collection, usually you can get these cards. It just depends on the character, and it depends who else is making the rainbow. I think printing plates are really difficult to get because people tend to either make printing plate sets or master sets of that particular series set of cards. Like Fleer Ultra Spider-Man, people are like, oh, I need to have one printing plate to call it a master set, and that printing plate might be of your character, or it might be a really high in demand character. Rainbow hunting is really, really difficult. Last and final thing. What does it mean to be a rainbow collector? When you're collecting rainbows, and this might be the future for a lot of collectors out there, is to chase down one character's full rainbow instead of chasing a full set, especially how modern Marvel cards are getting now. They're so massive that really the thing you have to do is be creative and say, how am I going to search for this? How am I going to collect this set? How am I going to dive in? How am I going to partake? I think a big thing that you have to realize with rainbow hunting is that selling rainbows after you've completed them is really, really difficult. I say this to warn you that collecting a rainbow and then not wanting it in about 6 months to a year can be a little difficult to offload. You have to find the right buyer, the right person, and because a lot of the cards they have are going to be already from that rainbow. They're going to have a base, they're going to have a parallel. They might even have the autograph card. You don't know. So they're not buying a complete set of new cards. They're buying a set of cards that they have doubles of and really only buying that one of one or that printing plate. So be aware and don't get too caught up on your rainbow thinking, I'm going to invest all this money in here. It's going to be perfect. No one's going to be able to do this. And then try to sell in a year and be like, why is no one buying this thing complete? They won't. They'll either want the signature card, they'll either want the printing plate or sketch. They're not going to want the whole thing complete. Very few buyers out there for a complete rainbow, depending on the character. I'm always happy to help. I do know a lot of character collectors because I'm a character collector myself. So if you do have a rainbow that you're trying to offload as a particular character that you think people are interested in, I can search around and ask for you. But most likely it's not going to work like that and you're going to have to split it up. So be wary of that. I think rainbows are a great thing to collect, especially for modern card collectors, especially modern Marvel card collectors and Star Wars collectors, because it's very difficult and overwhelming to try to collect a full set nowadays. And rainbowing a particular character or a particular card is a nice, fun way to still participate in all of the inserts and chase cards that you maybe want to see in person without having to overspend. And that's it. That's hunting rainbows. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, comments, like, subscribe if you want. It's totally up to you. I'd appreciate it if you did. Hope to see you around soon. More videos to come, and maybe a giveaway. I'm working on something. Bear with me. All right, everyone. See you later.